Hi, welcome to the video. You know, with me being a history nerd, I was super excited to talk about this story. And I kind of have like a weird respect for these guys. I mean, they tried so long to keep their company going. Anyway, let's talk about the Pinkerton Detective Agency. To talk about the Pinkerton Detective Agency, we first have to talk about Alan Pinkerton. Alan Pinkerton was born in Glasgow, Scotland on August 25th, 1819. His father died when he was a young boy, and that actually forced Alan to get a job. After getting said job, Alan found himself as part of the Charterism Movement. The Charterism Movement was a social and political movement during the early 1800s in Britain. This is important for later on in the story. Well, the British government wasn't too happy about wanting political and social reform in their country, so they put a warrant on Alan's head. With a warrant on his head, he fled to the United States. After settling in a town near Chicago, he actually caught a gang of counterfeiters. After this and a couple more arrests, he got sent to Chicago as a deputy sheriff. This happened in 1846, but by 1850, Alan Pinkerton resigned to start his own detective agency. This agency was called the Pinkerton National Detective Agency, and it was kind of a big deal. I mean, in 1861, they stopped an assassination plot on President Lincoln, and in 1866, they solved the first ever recorded train robbery. Not everything was all sunshine for the Pinkerton Detective Agency, however. In 1874, Pinkerton actually sought to kill Jesse and Frank James because they killed one of his own detectives. Unfortunately, the public actually supported the James brothers because during a raid on their home, two of their family members were killed. After the failed raid and the worker strikes of 1877, public opinion wasn't great for the Pinkertons. The Pinkerton Agency was also scrutinized for its acts during the Homestead strike. And after that, 26 states actually banned the use of outside agencies to suppress worker strikes. However, the Pinkerton National Detective Agency was able to flourish even after all this. The Pinkertons started off as a really good and well-trusted agency. I mean, protecting the president against the assassination plot is kind of a big deal, and they also stopped the first recorded train robbery, so both those give credibility to them. Sadly, the years following these weren't so great. The public was against the Pinkertons after what happened with the James brothers and the 1877 strikes, and this all kind of built up to the Homestead strike, which happened in 1892. After spilling the blood of the workers and not even being able to succeed in their mission, and also getting banned from helping in strikes from so many different states, the agency was still able to survive. I mean, the Pinkertons were the first to hire a female detective in 1856, and they were even hired in 1871 to stop any looting from the Great Chicago Fire. And even after the Pinkertons grew out of public favor, they still managed to grow. In 1906, they even had 20 offices throughout the United States. And even by 1960, they had moved their headquarters over to New York City and had 45 offices throughout the states. They eventually grew enough trust with at least the government that they were entrusted with moving the Mona Lisa across the Atlantic Ocean in 1962. There is so much that could be covered here because they honestly have done a lot over their reign. I mean, even in 2018, the Pinkertons are still around and they're using a new method called applied risk science to kind of measure risk for their clients. Like I said in the beginning, I do like the Pinkertons. I think they're cool. And I've always really loved like the mysterious detective kind of feeling. I always just think it's really cool. But I do see the irony in their early work. I mean, Alan Pinkerton literally fled England because of having a warrant on his head because he wanted social and political reform. And in 1877, he was stopping those same ideas from growing. Even after his death, more people were stopped in this way. I guess it just kind of seems a little ironic in my head, but I'm happy they finally found their footing. The public also does seem to have rebounded after the failed raid and the different strikes. Well, at least the Pinkertons aren't being discussed in the news cycle, so that means something. Also, it does seem that the different agencies and governments do trust the Pinkertons to get the job done as well. So maybe there's always a happy ending to this. If you liked the video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to catch the next one. Let me know what you think of the Pinkertons down in the comment down below. I'm also leaving all my different sources that I use for this in the description if you want to check them out and learn more about these guys. They're really cool. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.